Oh, a nice and wet bench. Hey everyone, it's Robin here. Welcome to a beautiful white bench in The Hague. And I'm joined here by,
Bennett, Kalu.
and it's great to have you.
Same here. It's my honor to be on your platform.
It's been a while actually trying to get you on a bench, but you needed some time to overthink it. You probably forgot about it,
Yeah,
and now we're here.
finally.
Bernard or Bernard?
Bernard.
Bernard. What made you take some time to think about joining an interview on a bench?
Um, hmm. I wouldn't say I took some time to think about it. I gave it a thought the first time you reached out. At that moment we had we're in a bit of not really a fix. We're moving, so things were not as stable as I didn't have the time in quotes you get. So because there's so much happening. We had a baby coming, we were moving houses, so just a lot was going on at that time. But we did set a time, and guess who? Guess who? Guess who decided to what's the word now? Postpone. It was you, yeah. So I think you postponed twice. I did twice, so we're even now.
Okay, keeping me accountable for it. No, that's okay.
Yeah,
Um, as long as we get to this point, right?
finally.
Yeah. I mean, for everyone tuning in at this moment, uh, welcome to the Good Place podcast. It's a podcast and interview series on a public bench with citizens about life and the place they live in. And, well, Bernard, tell us a bit more about yourself. Like, who are you, where are you from, and what brought you to beautiful The Hague?
Okay. My name is Bennett Kalu, and um, hmm, I like to say uh, so I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. I came here, or we came here, myself and my family, my wife. We have a son now. We came here 2023. Yes, we moved from Nigeria. We came to The Hague for something that was supposed to be a gap year. At the time, we had elections in Nigeria. We voted, but just everything just seemed. It just seemed like there was going to be chaos ahead, and myself and my wife just thought, okay, maybe um, we should like have a gap here. We should leave Lagos to somewhere and just live life a year somewhere else, and more like prioritize stuff and see what will come of it. And of all the places we could go at the time, the Netherlands seemed the most likely because there's this what do you call it? There was a visa route or something that worked at the time that was going to give us a year residency, and uh, the premise for you to stay longer is that you get a job and the job files for you. So
Yeah.
we did that. We came and
It was
um,
cold.
it was when we arrived March.
Never, yeah.
We arrived February.
Leuk met ijs achter de schermen een keer.
We arrived February 28th. It was basically March, and this is February 26th. Almost 2 years ago we arrived, and it was crazy cold first. and
Had you been somewhere so cold?
Yes, okay. I'd been to the UK before that. I had like a residency program in the UK sometime a year before that. It was cold in the UK, but it was a different kind of cold here. People say it's almost the same thing, but I felt like the one I experienced here on arriving then was quite cold, and we had to we faced a couple of challenges, like things we didn't expect. I mean, first was the housing challenge. Like before we could get a place, uh, it took a while. Like it took a long while. But the good part is, before we came, we had a friend that was here already that said that already told us about how difficult it was getting accommodation, and she tried to advise us to already start searching even while we were in Nigeria. So we started searching, going on Facebook. We have Facebook groups for everything in the Netherlands, and,
Yeah.
and we, good morning, we we put out word that, oh, we're this young couple coming from Nigeria to the Netherlands. We're claiming we're this, so we had to sell ourselves literally.
Yeah.
And eventually we had somebody reach out to us from that group, and he was moving out with his partner, but he was trying to get a new tenant for the landlord. And so we had like a series of, like, I'd never been interviewed like that before for anything. Thinking about
For a
it now.
house.
I mean, there's the whole, I mean, the visa interviews that we from our part of the world have to go through. But now having to sit for interviews for an accommodation was another level. I mean, so we had meetings with the landlord, a couple of meetings, back and forth, and eventually he agreed. And it was quite expensive, I should note, because what we have to pay, what we had to pay for our monthly rent was equivalent to what we pay for a yearly rent in Nigeria.
Wow.
Like, let that sink in. Like, our monthly rent in the Netherlands was literally equal to our yearly rent in Lagos, Nigeria. So that already was a shock we didn't expect. So that would mean, hi, morning. So that would mean, like, that literally shook everything we had planned. I mean, something that was supposed to be like a chill one here, because we thought we had some savings, we would more like just ease into it and just take our time.
Yeah.
We literally did the maths and saw that maybe this wouldn't work like we planned. So we literally had to start looking for jobs.
So no gap year.
No gap year as it is. So yeah, that's what it's been like.
And how? So from a 2 year gap year sabbatical,
Yeah.
you really had to go look for. Yeah, and you couldn't go back. I mean, you couldn't change the decision.
Yes.
You want to continue going.
Yeah, I mean, if you've like when you've already accelerated, when you're already in motion, it's difficult to pedal down and reverse.
Yeah.
I like, we had to spend so much money, we had spent so much time making it happen. I mean, before we got the visa, we didn't get in Nigeria. We had to go to Ghana. Ghana is a neighboring country, like in West Africa.
Yeah,
We had
yeah,
to.
yeah.
That was because Netherlands didn't. I don't know if they have an embassy there, but the process just had to be done in Ghana. So we went to Ghana. Money spent, time spent, everything spent. Bought our flight tickets. I mean, plus or minus, we were already over almost 10k euros into the whole preparation. You get, so how do you reverse at that moment? You get, so and we just thought, fine, like, we had faith, we're gonna see it through, like, things will
Yeah.
work out. I'm glad it's worked out, but it was quite challenging. Yeah.
And 2 years in now, like what has been your experience so far in The Hague? If you would give it a number out of 10.
Oh, it's been a week 7, solid 6. It's been a week 7, but solid 6. I mean, The Hague it's been so beautiful. I wouldn't like this. I mean, the Netherlands generally is such a lovely country. Like, I'm so glad we got to experience it. I mean, my wife had been here before me. She came 2021 for some work trip. But she was in Maastricht. Like that's where she did a work trip. So it was after she visited, then she just kept blabbing about, oh, the Netherlands this, the Netherlands that is, and so I mean, it made sense when we decided to go on a gap year. The Netherlands came up radar because she had experienced it. So the Netherlands is it's really beautiful. Like that, you can't take that away from the conversation. It's a very lovely place, but for us, it's been um, it's been a learning curve. That's what I would call it because
Hey, what? Sorry.
a learning curve. Like
Yeah.
we've had to like literally we've learned so much. Like it's just been new experiences so far.
Yeah.
Aside the weather that everybody talks about,
Of course.
there's the culture, the people. It's so different from what we're used to. Yeah, I mean we're from Nigeria. I mean when you hear the word Nigeria, so many things come to mind. Community comes to mind. Afrobeat comes to mind for those that listen to music. Faith, like culture, so much comes to mind. But the Netherlands, it's different. It's so different from what we're used to, what we're accustomed to before now.
What do you miss here?
Everything, everything. I mean, the weather, the people. Okay, we've sort of tried to find our tribe here, like have a community here, but it's so hard. It's so hard, like it's so hard. I mean, okay, I'm a photographer. I didn't mention that. Oh, I'm a photographer, guys. I've been a photographer for over a decade now, and I mean, back home, I'm so like I'm grateful to have been privileged to do this for the length of time I've been doing it, and to to have gotten the accolades I've gotten so far. Like I'm currently a Fujifilm ex photographer. I sometime the last vice president of the country when he was leaving, he did like a video. It was just celebrating creativity, and he spoke about my work as well. Like my picture was put up there as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, to have built um, one's career to that level and relocate to a new country. Well, I would think, oh, maybe I already have some momentum. I could just build on that, but it wasn't. That wasn't the case. Like I mean, it was literally starting all over, like doing. I mean, you know how we met, for instance. It was literally, it was literally.
We don't have to mention.
Oh, no. I mean, if they had maybe sponsored the episode, maybe we'll mention it, but they're not sponsoring it, so it's fine.
No.
So I mean, we had to literally. I literally had to start all over. I mean, do things I didn't think I was gonna do, but I literally had to put my ego down, build all over, and so you asked how the Netherlands has been. It's literally been a week 7, a solid 6. But we're grateful, and why I even got to 7 is because we had a baby here. So
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, literally that just literally wiped off any underwhelming feeling we had about the place. The whole process, the pregnancy process, and it's nice that with insurance you don't have to pay for the actual delivery. We know it's expensive in America, it's so expensive. In Nigeria, you even have to pay, but here we didn't have to pay. So for that, Netherlands will always be in my heart.
Well, I mean, the Hague will always be the place where your
My
little
son was
where your
born,
son was
yeah,
born.
yeah.
You know.
Most times when I carry him up, I like because where we live, we can see like the city from our apartment. So I always carry him up and show him how I'll be like Zane. Look at your city. Look at your city. So yeah, that will, Netherlands, the Hague especially will always be that place for us. Yeah.
Because this is quite I would say a first in the series is that I'm also talking to you because you've decided to leave. It's not only finding a place or looking for that good place.
Yeah.
But you've decided to move back to Lagos, right?
Yup.
What is it then you think you would of course when and why?
Yeah.
Of course, but also what is something you will take back to Lagos that you've maybe learned here?
I didn't think about that question. Oh,
It's not
like
scripted.
or like take back to Lagos. So the art world here, um, like the art scene here is actually I've there's a level of not just intentionality, but yeah, intentionality is the word. There's a level of intentionality in the art scene here, like because I mean I've been privileged to shoot in a couple of museums, and there's so much emphasis on like they really let art thrive in the Netherlands. It's something that's so beautiful. Maybe because I'm biased towards it because I'm a photographer, but it's something I've noticed. Like the art scene here is beautiful. It's they're so intentional about it. Like whether it's the museums you're going to, there's a place I went to some time ago in Amsterdam. It's called NS something. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's like what do you call it? This things they put on the wall. Murals they put on the
Yeah,
wall.
murals.
Oh, it's not. There's a word they call it.
I don't know. Wall art,
Wall art.
mural.
What's it called? It's literally here, where like artists spray on the wall.
Graffiti.
Graffiti. Come
Street art.
on, street art. So, so they have literally a place like an exhibition of graffiti, and I thought that's insane. Like how, I mean, there's one thing to for people to want to have that, but for the government to actually let that thrive, I think it's beautiful. That's one of the things I'll take back. Also, um, Dutch people are. I mean, I've always been someone that's punctual, but it's lovely to be in a place where you literally everybody's punctual. Like it's where you're not the off, like you're not the strange person, like you're not the one, because there's something. I mean, it's not a good thing to say, but back home there's something they call African time, where some you could fix time for something and say, oh, we're meeting at 2 p.m. for instance, and some people will come maybe 2:30, 3 p.m. and they're like, oh, it's African time, as by it's in quotes, it's accepted. But here, like you fix something for 2 p.m., 1:55, you hear like, and you meet other people here, they're like, oh yeah, 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 the appointment is holding for 2 p.m. I think it's brilliant. So it's one of the things I'll take back. It's one of the things I will emphasize to people I meet anywhere in the world I go to, that the Dutch people are punctual.
And
Also,
why are you going back? Oh, sorry. Go for it.
okay, and also, um, I should give a shout out to somebody. Her name is Ilvi. She's a photographer. Those photographers in Netherlands will know her. She there's a part she, there's a warmness or niceness we experience with her that I would I would say colored our experience, our perception of the Netherlands. I mean, before now,
Is she also doing World Press?
yes, she's a member of the
Yeah.
Seven
Yeah.
Photo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Canon. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Evie is amazing.
Yeah.
So
I met her as well. Yeah. Very nice.
so generally, like people are like, oh, Europe generally, people are always to themselves. Like, I mean, everybody's just all about themselves. There's no community. Like, people just want to go to work, and like even when they go to parties, they party like they're robots. I mean, let's just have fun and let's just go home. Like, there's no, like when you see people. Man, I've not gone to clubs here, but and like I've been in hangouts where people are really partying, but you can tell that they're just trying to release themselves. It's not about the other person, you get. But to having met someone like Ilvi that literally like put herself out there for me, I would say like, oh, I introduced her to my wife. Told that before I came, told her I was moving here because I'd done something with seven photo in Rwanda. There was a workshop I attended, and when we were coming, I was looking around. So, oh, Ilvi, she's a member of Seven Photo, and she's in Netherlands. I reached out to her. Oh, just off the bat, we've
Yeah.
never spoken. I never met her before then. Oh, hi, Evie. My name is Bernard. I'm coming to Netherlands. Blah, blah. I reached out to other people as well, and I won't call their names, but nothing,
Nobody.
but nothing came out of that conversation. But you get it. But with Evie, and she responded, and we met. She introduced me to a couple of people. Like, oh, put out good word for me. Like, no, no. So that experience with her is what I choose to remember the Netherlands by. That there are good people here as well. So that's it.
Oh. Yeah, people that welcome you
Yeah.
in their home, in their place.
Yeah.
Hmm. So we should all do a better job then at welcoming people.
I actually think why for those that for the Ilvis of the world or the Ilvis of the Netherlands, for them, what makes them have that perspective is because they've been to other places as well.
They've been around.
They've been around. So when you're well traveled, you literally you can actually see yourself in other people's shoe. Like, I mean, she's been around the world. She did a project in South Africa, so she knows the continent as well. So it helps. So when maybe somebody out there, if you feel like you experience a not so nice attitude from somebody, don't take it too personal. It just means that person hasn't been to many places and you have been, so you know better, and the responsibility of knowledge is on you to deal with the situation better. Just don't think too much of it. Just let it go. Yeah.
Are you happy of going back to Lagos?
Yes. Yes. I'm very happy, and I'm happy because of so many things, like, oh, family. My mom hasn't seen my baby since he was born, so I mean, there's no even no, I'm not gonna say that, but I mean, there's nothing to compare that feeling with, like going home, meeting family, introducing our baby to our family, our kindred. My wife's mom came over. She spent some months with us here. It was nice, but you know how we say it takes a village to raise a child back home. So
You
The-
have that back home.
so our baby needs to see the village. That's one of the reasons that I'm happy. Also, I have some other commitments back home that I get to go back to, and there's so many things I've learned here. The opportunity
Yeah.
to share it back home, and like grow my community back home. Shared so many insights I've received here as well. I mean, yeah, there's so many things to be happy about going back home. Yeah.
So these are all these factors why maybe also this whole experience was to really appreciate what you've already had, right? Like um, did you just hop through our screen? It's more like appreciate what you have in Lagos, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, so I'm a man of faith.
Right.
And when I was praying recently, something was impressed on my heart. Literally, God impressed a thought on my heart, and it went in the line of the reason why you came here. One of the reasons why you came here was literally to enlarge your heart. Is to literally
Enlight your heart.
enlarge my heart, like
enlarge your heart. Sorry. Yeah.
like make me literally see more, because your dream is usually a product of what you've seen. Like, you can't dream beyond what you know is possible. You get. So now I literally can dream bigger. I literally can. I've seen so much. Like I talked about the art scene here. I've seen a lot. So I can literally have a bigger vision. I can have faith for something bigger. Do you get? So, so, so that's why I'm actually so grateful that we came to the Netherlands, because if maybe we had visited, and we had a conversation before this started about how long does it take to say you know a place.
Yeah.
I mean, I said earlier I'd been to the UK for a couple of months. It was a residency. Went to Rwanda for a workshop. Went to Sierra Leone. I've been around, but I've never really stayed as long as I've stayed there in any place in the world apart from Lagos, Nigeria. So
Is 2 years enough?
to answer the question, is 2 years enough? 2 years is not enough, but what's enough actually? 2 years is not enough. Maybe 5 years is enough, but 2 years gives you good enough, good gives you something to work with. Like I can hit my hand on my chest and say I know the Netherlands now in these 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yes, 2 years is enough in that sense, but to actually say you master in a place and you're part of them, part of the culture, part of the system, it's not enough. I mean, because I don't speak Dutch now, for instance. Yeah, maybe there are people that can learn Dutch in 2 years, but no, I couldn't. I tried, yeah, but maybe in 5 years, I believe I will learn Dutch. Like, but then I will be lekker lekker. Yeah.
It's okay that you already knew that the gap year is only going to be 2 years, right?
Yeah, it was gonna be 1 year.
Oh, okay.
Gap years are usually 1 year, but
Yeah,
our
okay.
baby extended it for us.
Yeah, right. Okay. No, because then no, you don't take language courses, or you think, oh my, yeah, well, you might leave after a year or so. Yeah. But regarding faith, you think also this, because I'm intrigued by that. Also, how faith plays a role in your life. Faith has also brought you most likely brought you here, but at the same time, faith also helped you through this period, right?
Yeah,
To keep going and so on. Because I'm not um, I don't follow any religion or anything, so I'm not aware. I'm not. Um, I don't have that factor in my life. Whereas I know a lot of people. Most of their lives is built around that as well, or they love support, strength, and so on. How has you already said it enlarged your heart in this? But have you also learned to appreciate it more here?
Yeah.
Because I imagine in Lagos, your community is they all surround themselves around religion, right? Where it's well, most of them. I think a larger part there than here in the Netherlands. I think.
Yeah. So actually, what changed my perspective about faith is the fact that Christianity, which I'm a Christian, uh, is the fact that Christianity is not a religion. I mean, that's what knocks out, like, changes the whole conversation.
Right.
Because ideally, religion is man seeking a greater power, uh, a superpower. So it's always been from the onset, where back in Africa, even in India, some part of the world, you have people worship maybe water. They're like, oh, the great waters, like anything bigger than man. So man is just trying to latch onto some greater force. That's what religion is. But what Christianity is different in the sense that it's literally God finding man, God coming to man. So we say Christianity is literally the life of God in a human being. You get the exciting, pulsating life of God in a human being. That's what Christianity is. So so when I talk about faith, I don't talk about it as a religion or as a religious thing. I mean, there are things that Christians do that people call like factor as religion, but the faith itself is not religion. It's literally the life of God in the human form. And another interesting thing is that every religion ends here. Like Buddha, where Buddha was before he passed, he says he's still searching for the truth. You get, but only one man came and said, "I'm the way, I'm the truth, I'm the life," and that's Jesus Christ. You get, so, and that same man, he was killed, he died, he was buried, he didn't end in the grave, he rose up again. So that changes the conversation from the whole religion, because every other religion ends here, but the very man that brought that we follow, the one that we are born after, left this earth. He resurrected and he ascended. So it means that for us Christians, our end is not here. There's a big event we're all looking forward to that's going to happen, and it's called the rapture. And it will happen any day now. It might happen now as we're here. It might happen as soon as this is aired. So, and it's a very big thing, and it's something that should get everybody thinking, because if I have a friend, like if let's say we're in the room together, and I step out, and I find vipers around in the compound, but they're in the grass somewhere, and I see it, and I go inside, and I'm like, and you tell me, oh, Ben, I just need to go pick up something else, and I'm like, oh no, don't, Robin, don't go there, and you're like, what do you mean? Oh, you're impeding on my freedom. Oh, you're whole trying to stop me from doing what I want to do. You're impeding my freedom, stuff like that, and I'm literally holding back, like trying so hard to hold you from going there, and eventually I say, okay, fine, I'll let you be you. I mean, God is so supreme, but He gives everybody the freedom of choice, you
Yeah,
get.
yeah,
So, and you go out and you get stung or get bitten or get struck by one of the vipers, and it's so deadly and you die. What does that make me? Does that make me a good person or a bad person? You get. So if I'd left you without even saying anything in the first place because
yeah.
of your freedom, wouldn't that be on my own conscience? So that is the same way we Christians around the world feel at this moment, because we know for a certain the rapture will happen, and only those that are saved will be raptured. And after the rapture, the world will be a horrible place. We already see what's happening in the world today. The world will be 100 times more horrible than what's happening now. So I mean, the choice
But maybe
is,
it's not happening in our lifetime.
it will happen in this lifetime, not in this very lifetime, because for over 2,000 years there's been, I mean, Jesus said he was coming soon. The whole premise of rapture has always been out there, but there's no time in the history of the world as has everything been in place for the rapture than it is today. There's no time in the history of the world. Everything prophecy says in the word of God that will happen has already happened, with whether it's Israel, whether it's Palestine, whether it's the what's it called?
Same as for you going to the Hague.
Exactly. Everything has literally. So we're literally like, the only thing remaining is the word of God says that this gospel will preach to every nation of the world as a witness. And there's some parts of the world that hasn't gotten the gospel. Literally, that's what's remaining. And there are ministries all around the world that are doing on, like, there are missionaries all around the world. And as who knows if today might be the last day where they get to one part of the Amazon forest in Brazil. So you get, so there's no time to waste. And like someone will say, if you give your life to Christ and rapture happens, good for you. And if and if it doesn't happen, good for you still. It doesn't make you, having faith doesn't, there's no loss in faith. I don't know if you understand. Like, whether you're a man of faith or not, like, there's no, whether or not rapture happens, even if you were just here on the earth, with faith you never lose. So, but when there's not a gain for after earth, I mean, it's a win-win scenario. So there's nothing to what's the word? There's nothing to lose for believing in the Lord Jesus. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
But it doesn't have an effect on how you intentionally live or enjoy moments and perhaps no time to lose.
Yeah. So, um, I mean, if we say that Christianity is the life of God in human form, definitely it affects everything about you, because you know, we say we human beings, we pride ourselves as, oh, we're human beings, but every human is a spirit first. You're a spirit that resides in a body. Like, this flesh is the jacket. You're literally living in this jacket. So the Robin I'm speaking to now is not the fine face, the gray hair, the gray beards.
Gray hair?
Is the fine man in this jacket, you get. So definitely faith affects how you live, affects your perception, affects everything. I mean, I spoke about how, speaking to other people, they told me about how, like, I spoke about earlier about how I when I catch myself comparing my experience here with the experience I left back home, I tend to feel a sort of way. But after speaking with a couple of people, I tell you, see that I've had it so good, you get. So And everything is still tied to, I always tied to God, because we didn't come here by ourselves. We're led here because it's in Him we move, it's in Him we live, it's in Him we have our being. So yeah, so faith definitely impacts how how your perception and how you experience life.
Yeah.
And another side of that question is this: um, I'm a photographer, and I'm a documentary photographer, and there's something we call documenting your days, meaning literally what it says, documenting your days. Every moment is valuable, you get. And sometimes as human beings we live we always live, well, either in the past, nostalgia, or we're in the future, anxiety. We rarely live in the now, you get. But with photography, most times I've been able to practice mindfulness, like literally be in a place. I shared with you an instance of like something that happened, how I lost one of my cousins, and she was like she was literally one of my closest cousins, and it still hurts me to now that she's passed. And anytime I remember her or a picture comes to mind, I always think about how the last time we were together. I always ask myself the question that if I knew the time we spent together was the last time I was ever going to see her, the moments we had then, how we played, how we spoke, how we laughed, is that how I was going to leave it, or will I do anything differently? And thankfully, I didn't think I was going to do anything differently. So I feel good about that. But for other people, like,
You're more conscious about how you share those moments.
I'm so much more conscious about how I experience people now. Like, I always make sure that I exhaust, if there's any word, I exhaust every encounter. Like, I exhaust every encounter. I don't leave anything to chance, because time is fleeting. You get, time is so fleeting. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, I lost someone dear to me as well a few months ago, and yeah, it's you reproduce those moments you last saw her, or how you shared them, and
Yeah, I look at the pictures I shot of her, because
yeah.
I mean, I always have my camera on me. Yeah, whoop. So so
Yeah, it's okay. Thanks.
I took them up. We took pictures, like took pictures of her, took pictures of her kids, because she's a mother. She has 3 kids,
Yeah.
lovely kids, a boy, 2 girls, and I go through those pictures now, and I remember her, like, and it's beautiful. Like, we got to share those moments, but much more I'm grateful that the moments that we spent together was good. Like, it was not shadowed by worries of the past or anxiety of the future. We were just there, happy that
Yeah.
we're in each other's company. Oh, like, excited. So I mean, it should. I feel it has brought, like you said earlier, just some seconds ago, that it's brought a new perspective to me. Like, when I mean, like, anytime I meet people, anywhere I am, I live life to the full now. Like,
Yeah.
I get to be in the moment, like, enjoy life, because we won't always be here, you know.
And I also taking that energy back home to Lagos. So much inspiration, so much drive.
yeah.
Benar, as well, that this place, this podcast is about, we talk about good place. What have you thought of what that means to you?
A good place.
I mean, yeah, and then no, we talked about faith, we talked about so many things, but what comes up when I ask you what a good place is to you?
So when I think about a good place, I think about a good place, soulishly, mentally, than a physical place, because um, I mean, when you're back, for most people back home, they think about, oh, Europe is the dream. Like, they feel like, oh, when I come to Europe, this is the good place. You get, but those of us have come here, I've seen that, man. Hi. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay.
Die staan er allemaal op.
Yeah, like I was saying, so those back home or other parts of the world, they think, oh, maybe when I come to Europe is the good place. When I come to Europe, it's a land flowing with milk and honey. But for those of us that have come, you've come to see that it's not all that. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's not all that you
No,
get. So
no.
I feel like when I think about the good place, I think about it as a place you can be in your soul where you're at peace.
Hmm.
So and it's not a function of it's really a function of a physical thing. Like it's not a function of where you are physically.
No.
It's mostly a function of um of what you are in your mind, because you can be in heaven in quote, but if you're suffering in your mind, you're in hell. You get. So when I think of the good place, I think of being at peace
With yourself.
with myself, with God, with family, with everything. Just being at peace. That's the good place for me. And something comes to mind. I'll keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on me. Hyphen God. So that's what the scripture says. It says he keeps him in perfect peace. He keeps him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on him. So anytime I feel anxious, I'm worried, I'm all over the place, I just know that my mind isn't on God. You get. So what I do then is to bring back myself, like gather myself back and literally stay in my mind. Hello. Is to bring back myself and and stay my mind on the word, because literally when I'm on the word, when my mind is fixed on God, like when I say on God, it means um I'm at rest in my trust of God, that my life is not my own, my life is His. So
Yeah. You're
if
being led by.
I'm being led by Him, and
Yeah.
it's a bit foggy now. I'm being led by Him. So, and if my hand in His is in, if my life is in His hand, He can't lead me wrong. He can't, like, I can't suffer. You get. So that gives me rest. That gives me peace, and that's a good place for me.
Even for those people that you've lost in your life.
Exactly. Because even those that even faith is so beautiful, because even those that have passed, even those that died, that left this plane of existence,
Yeah.
we know that there's life after now.
Mm.
So we don't like, even though I miss my cousin, I miss her because I'm being it's selfish, the word. Like I miss her here. Like I
Yeah,
miss
yeah,
the
yeah.
moments we have here. But
She has a different
but,
task.
but the
Yeah.
thing is, she's gone to a different place. She's Bible says to be absent in the body is to be present with the Lord. So she's gone to be with the Lord. You get. So it's just me missing her here that makes me talk about her this way I talk about her. But I know she's in a better place. You get. So even when there's loss, there's no loss for the man of faith. In essence, yeah. So we don't interpret loss the way um, people interpret loss logically. Yeah.
It's interesting because I completely perceive life differently because I don't
Yeah,
feel that I'm led by faith, and also because I lost somebody. It's that kind of perspective, extra perspective, which is also beautiful to hear from you
yeah.
because we're all you know suffering because of loss and how to deal with it. Yeah, interesting. I can imagine it helps to be in that good place if
Yeah.
um, faith is there,
Yeah. Faith is like an anchor.
like an anchor. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what the anchor does for the ship.
Yes.
So
Yes.
like, no matter how the waves go, as long as the ship is
Yeah.
anchored to,
You
it
stay put.
stays. Yeah, stays
Yeah.
put.
Yeah.
So even when you feel shaken, like, I sometimes I think about it, like, oh, well, it was 2 days ago. One of our other cousins, like my cousin Happiness that passed. Her name is Happiness, to think about it, imagine.
Really? Wow.
Her name is Happiness. So her sister, which is my cousin as well, said, oh, that brought up an idea that we need to make like a photo book for her. Like every picture everybody has of
Yeah.
her, we
Yeah.
need to put
Yeah.
it together for the kids so that they can have something to look at when they grow up or something. And she sent me some pictures she had. And those pictures, I I'd seen those pictures before because I mean she's my cousin and I know stuff about her. And I saw it was a picture of her and some of her friends, and I know those friends. So it brought the feelings afresh to me. I was like, God, I just typed to her. I was like, oh God, I miss happiness because when the first time I saw those pictures, I mean, were pictures of those pictures were pictures of her when she was in the university, and I mean, we lived. I lived with them at that moment, and when she came back from school, I know how our conversation went. How she spoke about those her friends, the excitement of
Yeah.
it. Like, oh, I was in. She's older than me. Or she was older than me, so she got into the university before me. So I got to hear stories of the university from her first. She was like, "Oh, I went to this, I went to library, I went to campus." So like all those feelings just came rushing back to me like so much. I was overwhelmed by them. So I just told that my God, I was like, God, I miss happiness, and I mean my eyes welled with tears at that time. Like it was just so much. But it was just that moment, like it was just like the shaking of the ship. Eventually, my anchor had
Yeah,
to
yeah,
come
yeah,
into
yeah.
place. Yeah,
And
so
trusting.
trusting that she's in a better place. Yeah,
Yeah, but also trusting in your own anchor
exactly.
that you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm always the good place is never far from me. I'm always able to be in the good place.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that energy, man, as well. Yeah. No, I do feel they say in Dutch, I'm hanging on your lips here as well. Yeah. No, I mean it's good.
What's the Dutch? Say it in Dutch.
Yeah, ik hang aan je lippen. Yeah.
Hang aan je lippen.
Yeah, yeah,
Hang
yeah,
aan je
yeah.
lippen.
As in,
Hang
your
aan je
story is
lippen.
so captivating,
Yeah.
and you're in it. Yeah, yeah. It also reminds me that the book that you're creating is also that has that same role of appreciating those shared moments together.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
same as.
yeah.
Yes. Wow, Bernard, this is quite an episode about faith,
About the Netherlands?
about experiments, and then and going back home and
Yeah.
appreciating
Yeah.
what you already have in life.
Yeah.
And it feels that Lagos is also your anchor wherever you go in the world,
Yeah.
and it brings you back. Um, with every episode, especially this year, I like to always end with our stack of conversation cards that I have here.
Okay.
And the risk here is that you get a question which is completely different than that we talked about.
Okay.
But I think it's always a nice way to end the episode.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, if you hold the mic, I'm gonna spread out the cards and you pick one.
Yeah. Hey, Betty.
Here we go. Oh, going for the minnow.
It called out to me.
Oh,
Oops. Excuse me.
what does
Okay.
it say?
It says good place. How does the cultural diversity in your city influence your experiences and views? How does the cultural diversity in your city influence your experience and views?
And of course, we can talk about The Hague, but we can also just, talk about Lagos. You choose.
So when we talk about cultural diversity, it's talking about Lagos in that context might not work so much because, I mean, it's a black continent. Like, where in Lagos, for instance, there are over 22 million people. So, and they're mostly locals.
No, then your experience here in The Hague.
So my experience in The Hague.
You can also skip the question, take a new one.
I think I want to skip it because it's the city of my son's birth. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to say anything that's sort of excellent of the city. Okay, maybe I should take this
No,
first one.
This one is a.
Oh, okay. What?
You can still take this one.
Okay. Oh God! Skip. Skip.
But I like the what ifs questions though. Then you take a different what ifs.
Okay, that one we skipped. Maybe I should say the question was, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? I
In
feel
Lagos.
maybe not, but I feel the question is so. I don't want to say cliche, but I try not to. I try not to. I don't want to say plan that far because
Okay, we're gonna stick to that question. No way. Go. Finish it. You finish it.
okay. So it says, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
No, but I like that perspective.
Yeah, I try not to plan that far because it's easy to say, oh, I mean, it's nice, not even easy, it's easy and nice to actually dream and say, in the next 10 years I'll do this. What I do instead is everything people will generally put in the next 10 years, I just put it now and just leave. I try not to date my dreams. That's my perspective on this very matter. I try not to date my dreams. I just have my dreams and leave them.
Yeah.
It can happen tomorrow. It can happen next tomorrow. But the idea of dating dreams or dating this, I'm not a fan of it. Yeah.
True. But what I've also realized as a fellow dad here is that you start thinking, because I've never put time to things.
Yeah.
But now that I have kids,
You have to put time for it. Yeah.
so where do I see myself in 10 years? I might be picking up my kid from school.
Nice perspective.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
The question
also-
didn't say it. Didn't tell. The question said, "Where do you see yourself?" And
Yeah.
not. It didn't say anything about your dreams.
Yeah.
It could be. Yeah, I'll be. I don't know. Playing.
Actually-
I'll play football. I'll play football with my kids.
Actually, that's on the premise that what I spoke about earlier hasn't happened. If rapture has happened, I wouldn't be here in the next 10 years. So that's it.
Yeah. But let's stay positive.
Rapture is a positive thing. You don't want to leave this plane of like what's happened. There's nothing so.
No, okay.
So
But
fantastic
when it
about
comes
it.
to my kids, I'm like, yeah, I hope in 10 years I'll be playing with my kids.
Yeah, but you can rapture with your kids as well.
Yeah, I don't know much about that yet, that concept, right? So I need to.
You find out about it very soon. Don't worry.
Yeah. So that's for me harder to grasp, as you know. I mean, Bernard, I hope that. When are you leaving? Actually,
Soon, next month.
next month.
Yeah, in a month's time.
Okay. So it's all about packing boxes and.
Yeah, like sourcing the boxes first because. Yeah, packing boxes basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Start having to sell stuff. The Netherlands. Oh yeah, sorry, I should say this. One of the things I love about the Netherlands is the marktplaats culture. it's second to none. Like I don't think I've ever, maybe it's like that in the UK or in Nigeria. I don't think we don't practice. There's no second hand. I mean, people sell second hand stuff, but it's not as pristine as you have it here. Like you can get something and just know that it will end with you, and you get good value for it when you're done with it. It's so beautiful. Like we
You
have
should set it up in Lagos.
possibly. I'll think about that because most of the stuff we bought in the house, the TV, the this, the that, like we're having to sell them off, and we're selling them good value, and it's just beautiful. So one of the reasons why up Netherlands.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I mean, this is nice. I mean, we take these things for granted,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you look at from a different perspective.
Yeah.
But I want to wish you, amazing last month in The Hague.
Dankjewel.
We're gonna air this episode ASAP on our channels on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. For everyone to follow, subscribe, please,
Like,
and subscribe.
and share.
And follow this guy on his channels and his beautiful work. And I hope one day we can redo this
Yep. In Lagos.
in Lagos, please, warm on a bench, and have this conversation again.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, and I'm about to
Yeah, nice.
take a picture of you after this episode. But thanks everyone, Bernard.
Thank you.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks so much. Happy to have met you
Same
here in The Hague.
So
Our path crossed. Look at this, an
Oh,
action
love
photo.
it.
I'll share it. I'll share it here. For everyone watching and listening, thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed our time here on the white bench in the beautiful sunshine. Spring's coming, so I'm more happy. That's also why you
Good weather
waited,
days.
because it was too cold in December and
Good weather
January.
days, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to more spring days on the bench, perhaps somewhere near you. Have a nice day. Talk to you soon. Ciao.
Do we?